Hi. Hello, everybody. Z3 KO Trinity here. I am back with another horror vlog. Let's do this correctly. I am back with another horror vlog. And today's episode, I am going to be discussing bullies. Bullies can terrify us. They can traumatize us. They can really push us over the edge. Back in school, I was bullied a lot. And yeah, I was afraid to go to certain classes. I was afraid, of walking and crossing paths in hallways. And that fear overcame my life in school because of bullies. Now, bullies in movies go different ways. Let's take Stephen King's It, for example, with Henry Bauer. Henry was being abused and beaten and bullied himself by his father. Well, he took out that frustration, that anger, that hatred, and put it upon anyone and everyone that he came across. And eventually it broke him to the point where he actually ended up killing people. What's up, Mr. Isaac? How's it going? We're discussing bullying right now. But being bullied can drive you insane as well. There are way too many school shootings. There's a lot of that going on right now. And it's mostly because of bullying. People who are getting picked on and bullied not only by classmates, by teachers. I personally was bullied by 2 teachers. My 3rd grade teacher, she just did not like me. Every time a kid would throw paper, she would clearly see the kid throwing paper across the room, and she would tell me to come with her and force me to call my parents and tell them that I had apparently threw a paper, even though she clearly saw that this other kid did it. And she would, humiliate me in front of class. She would do all kinds of stuff. And same with my 6th grade teacher. My 6th grade teacher humiliated me in front of class almost every single day. And it's not right. It's not right being bullied by teachers. It's not right being bullied by other students. A lot of people are even bullied by their family members too. And that's the real sad part. Is that you're a victim of being bullied by your own family. And it pushes people over the edge. That's why we have so many kids acting out, so many suicides, so many school shootings. I mean, it's ridiculous. But that is the darkness of the world that we live in today. If people would just kind of get along, if people would, and mostly it's the parents' fault. And it's actually the teacher's fault too. If a teacher notices a kid being bullied and ridiculed in school, I feel like they should do something. A long time ago, I'm not going to give no names, but I do know this for a fact. The teacher had walked out of this classroom, and a bunch of kids started hazing a kid. And if you don't know what hazing is, it's where a bunch of kids group up and start beating on one kid and doing all kinds of stuff to just this one kid. Well, the teacher came back and noticed that they were hazing the kid. They started beating him, kicking him, throwing him on the ground, just starts hitting him with different stuff. This teacher walked out of the room and didn't say a thing. Let it happen. And that kid ended up being in a wheelchair the rest of his life because of that. And I think that's fucked up. That teacher no longer teaches, by the way. But I'm not going to give names or nothing like that. But I personally think that's fucked up. And I can't remember what they hazed the kid for to begin with. I think it was because he had a speech impediment or something. But that is the darkness that lives in every single one of us. And it's this anger, this hatred that pushes people. I mean, yeah, I get it. If you're in school and you're this big, tough guy, you know, everyone looks up to you. You're just this big old, you know, hero. And you're a hero because you put down others. I get it. I've done that myself, and it is wrong. And I feel ashamed, and I'm sorry. I never beat up anyone. I never did, you know, major stuff like that. But I was a bully at one point, and it is wrong. And like I said, I've been bullied in school. Just, it makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel sick. And some kids, it pushes them over the edge. And we need to change. Somehow, some way. And I get it. People, and the reason why I blame parents in particular, and it's real sad. Like, I believe in God and everything, but I really do question this. There's junkies and parents who don't deserve to even have kids. They don't take care of them. They don't, you know, treat them right. They beat on their kids. They can have kids easily. But you take someone who really wants to have a kid, who would love, who would cherish, who would actually care for this human being, but yet they can't have children. And I'll never understand why that is. But the parents, they're the ones that aren't watching their kid in school if the kid is the bully. Now, if a parent is seeing a kid their child being being bullied and ridiculed, of course they're going to want to do something about it. But that's where the teachers step in, and some teachers will do something, other teachers just won't. But I have a point to all this. That's one of the main topics of this thing is bullying, because that was one of the scariest things about Stephen King's It, was the whole fact of them being bullied by Henry Bauer. And the reason why I bring up bullying today is because we're going to do a movie review, let me switch back to color, on one of my absolute favorite movies growing up as a kid. It has a lot of meaning to me because when I first saw it come on TV, that's when I lived with my grandma when I was a kid. And like I said, my grandma loved scary movies, and it was coming on. She's like, ooh, I wonder if this is going to be any good. Which it has that guy in it. Can't remember his name. I'm sure it's on the back here. Charles Durning. Yeah. It has him in it and a couple other high-up celebrities from back in the day. But yeah, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow is about bullies. It's about his character being a bully to this slightly retarded man who sees himself as a child. And he hangs around with this little girl, and this is his mom right there. Yeah, if I can get it colored right. But yeah, that's his mom. His name is Buddy. Well, I think that's his real name. Or no, it's Bubba. My bad. Bubba Ritter. And he hangs out with that little girl because in his mind, he thinks that he's a child. Well, everyone in the town don't like him, don't like his mom, are trying their best to get rid of him. And they bully him, they tease him. Well, one day, the little girl is walking home walking home with him, and she sneaks into this person's yard and tries to go in there to get, I think it's a baseball bat or something. She threw something in there, and she was picking flowers, that's right. She went in there to pick a flower, and then she gets attacked by these two dogs. Well, Bubba runs in and saves her, and she gets taken to the hospital. Well, these people get the wrong idea and think that he hurt her, not a dog. They think that Bubba himself had hurt her because they claim that he's dangerous. Because at this time period, they didn't really know what special needs people were, and just they really didn't care. Well, they ended up hunting him down, and he's scared to death, don't know what to do, so he runs home to his mom, and she hides him inside this scarecrow, which, of course, the main guy, trying to see his name, Otis, he finds out that he's in the scarecrow, so he backs off, and he's got like 6 or 7 guys with him, and they each have like rifles, hunting rifles. They start lighting up and ended up killing him. Well, that after they killed him, they hear on the radio that she was fine, she was attacked by dogs, and Bubba had actually saved her. So they killed this man because he saved her life. Well, they twisted things around. They put this pitchfork in his hand and pretended like he was, attacking them and they had to shoot him. Well, somehow they were able to get it off of it through court and they got away scot-free. Well, his spirit, Bubba's spirit, takes over this scarecrow. And one by one, each of the 7 people, he comes and hunts them down. And I'm not going to tell you how. If you're interested in watching the movie, it's an excellent, excellent movie. It's an older movie. Came out in 1981. And, yeah, it just played on TV back when I was a kid. So, it's always been one of my favorite movies. It's always been one of my grandma's favorite movies. And I cherish my grandma and I cherish this movie. So if you have not seen Dark Night of the Scarecrow, unfortunately they don't have it on Blu-ray. They only have it on DVD, but it is worth buying. You guys need to check it out. It is so cool. I just love the kills in this are really intense. The story is really intense. Charles Durning's character is really fucked up, but he gets his just desserts. So you'll see. It's an excellent movie. You guys got to check out that movie. But yeah, bullying and that forte caused them to kill this innocent man. In movies like Unfriended, these people bullied this girl so much to where she committed suicide. And I know there's kids out there, young kids. There was actually in the news one time of an 11-year-old killing himself. And that is not right. Nothing about that is right. But it's the sad world that we live in. So, if you can help it, if you have bullied someone, just take a deep breath and just apologize. If someone out there is watching this video now that I've went to school with and I have bullied you in any way, I apologize. And El Manuel, I know you're going to be watching. I crack jokes at you all the time. I joke with you and it seems like bullying, but you're actually one of my best friends and it's just how I am with my friends. So I hope you don't take nothing like that to heart. But we're going to move on from that dark subject. I'm going to see what you guys have been saying. Sorry I've been neglecting you guys. Oh, I see. Stealing my idea. Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. I can relate to being bullied. It sucks so much and does not make school any easier. No, it don't. You know that I hate bullies. Made that video, been in your shoes. That sounds like a good movie. Yeah, you really have to see it. It's a very good movie. But now we're going to move on to a Stephen King discussion. As you know, I did a video. I was kind of quick to the point on trying to get that video out where my dad brought my packages to me really late. I was wanting to do a really in-depth video of a Stephen King previews, but I'm going to go ahead and show it again. This is Stephen King's newest book called The Outsider. It is a really nice cover of a book. I think it's one of his best covers of any of his books thus far. I've got to read like a few pages. I'm a few pages in. I haven't really got that far in, but so far it's actually quite interesting. So if you want to pick up this book and read it, as soon as I finish the book, I'm going to do a review video on it, and I want you guys to join in and let me know your opinion. I'm going to try to do reading every single day, whether it's a chapter a day or, something like that. I'm going to try to at least, go day per day and try to finish this book. But I would love it if you guys would, pick up this book and read it and join in and let me know what you think of the story. Because I know we all are Stephen King fans. That's why you joined my channel to begin with, because of your love for Stephen King novels or Stephen King movies. He is a really, really brilliant man for coming up with his characters the way he does. So I can't wait to see what we have in store for The Outsider. But yeah, I would love for, this channel to do a lot more reading. Me and you guys in particular. I would like it to be able to do some book reviews. Mostly Stephen King, though, because, I do have other books, but mostly I just want to do Stephen King right now, as far as book reviews. But, yeah, if you guys have any extra money or, have a birthday or something coming up and you want to pick this up, you can always feel free to comment on the video whenever I make the review video and just let me know what your opinions on it. I would love to know. But speaking of Stephen King, and the reason why I'm looking over here is I got my laptop, so. But speaking of Stephen King, I'm going to be starting a huge Stephen King movie marathon, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of reviews on those movies. So I think you guys will like to see some of the reviews for Stephen King movies, where I think they place from like 1 to whatever, like 1 from 100, like least favorite to most favorites. And I'm not quite sure if would you guys want me to do the reviews on my horror vlogs, or would you rather have them separate from the horror vlog itself? Like do a separate, maybe I can bring back like Stephen King Mondays or something like that, and like something stupid like Stephen King Mondays even though it's not Monday, and because I never do hardly any videos on Mondays, but maybe I can bring something like that back and do a Stephen King review of the movie. So let me know what you guys think. But we're going to go backtrack to anger. Now, my question to you guys is, and I'm going to go dark again, because this is a dark subject. Have you ever let your anger get out of control and you had hurt ones you've loved? Do you suffer from, I would say like you need anger management, but have you ever just gotten so mad that you had did something or said something and just instantly regretted it? I've done that quite a lot in my life. I've gotten mad at friends and kind of made like smart mouth remarks, and it's just not cool, and I need to control my anger a little bit better. I wouldn't say that I'm an angry person, because I really, thankfully, I don't get that angry about much. Mostly like when a video game pisses me off, or something random. But the reason why I bring this up is because of our next movie that I'm going to review. It's called The Hatred. But it's about a man whose hatred and anger overtook him and allowed him to do bad things. And I want to know if you guys have a problem keeping your anger, because that's a scary thing in itself. And that's another way of being a bully, is that if you get angry so easily and you latch out and you just do stuff. There are a lot of ways to control anger, but I'm not going to tell you, what you should or shouldn't do. That's not my place or anything like that. I'm just saying I know what I could do for myself that I could do. But, let's see what we got. Yes, I would review that with you when I get the book. Okay, cool. I would rather you do them separate because I like to rewatch old videos sometimes and it would be easier to watch. Okay. I've never hurt anyone physically, but I have verbally insulted others, but usually I control my anger fine. That's good. But, yeah, gonna go back to Caller again. And I don't own this movie. Actually, I don't own the next two movies that I was going to show you guys because I literally watched them last night on Netflix. And I hope you guys can see this. My laptop, I couldn't quite find a big enough picture. But it's a movie called The Hatred. And it's on Netflix right now. It was a very, very good movie. It starts off in the 60s of this family. And they look kind of normal. The dad, he's kind of this, like, really kind of stout guy. Really stern. You could just tell that he's a very hard-working person. And he's very private. He doesn't want nobody else to be in the business of his family. He believes that you always should work really hard and just stick with your family. You don't need no friends. You don't need no outsiders. You just stick to your land and you do what you do. Well, his daughter thinks otherwise. She wants to be out and about. She wants to go out with friends. She wants to go to town. And he's, like, no, you just do your work. The only people you need to associate with is your family. Well, it turns out he receives this package and he goes down to his basement where it's like his own personal space, and he opens this package. Hey, Mr. Spooks, welcome. He opens the package up and inside of it is a picture of Adolf Hitler, and it has like a random guy onto his left, and on his right, standing about face, is their dad, the dad of the family. So it turns out that he's like Hitler's right-hand man. And he has this hatred, this lust for killing, because he just loved being with Hitler, loved what they did. Well, he received this emblem. It looks like a cross, and it has little images, like on the top of the cross is like an eye. And then on the sides it just has different images on this cross. Well, the cross is known as a hatred cross, which whenever a Nazi soldier holds the cross, it's supposed to take away all their fear and all their hatred. And it's supposed to it's supposed to take away all their fear and increase their hatred. So that way they can do better in war. Well, he receives that photo of him with Hitler in just like a little place, and that cross. Well, he buries the cross inside the wall. He breaks a hole in the wall, puts it there, and cements it back over. The daughter once again starts throwing a fit, being rebellious, and he actually ends up killing the daughter. And I know what you're thinking, well, you're giving away a lot of it. Actually, no, this is literally the beginning of the movie. But he kills the daughter, and then events happen. I'm not going to give away too much. But then it skips back to present day, which is like years. I think it's like 2018 or something like that. Well, this group of college girls, they rented out the house to kind of chill They have this little girl that they're watching over. I couldn't remember if the girl, it was her niece or cousin or something like that. Um, but because mostly I was cleaning while watching / listening to the movie. But it is set in present day. They're renting this place. They usually are working hard in college and they want to take like this vacation, this little mini break from everything. So she goes to the house. And of course, paranormal stuff happens because every movie nowadays has paranormal stuff in them. But believe it or not, this movie was actually very good. I would highly recommend for you guys to try it. It does have a really badass jump scare in it, and it has this one particular scene in it that I thought the director did such a good job with it. But I'm not going to give it away because it's one of the most impactful moments in the movie. All I'm going to say is check it out. It is worth watching. It is called The Hatred. Um, and it's on Netflix, like I said. I don't think it's like a Netflix exclusive, but I could be wrong. Alright, where are we at? Let me see what you guys have said real quick. Just got home. Hi, Graham, how are you doing? It reminds me of the movie Falling Down, where this one average Joe like guy who never gets angry ever one day gives up on a busy freeway and goes on a massive spree of doing whatever he wants. Oh, okay. They lifted my live stream ban, so I'm streaming KH right now. Oh, cool. Yeah, I know every time that you start streaming videos, something goes wrong and you get banned for some reason. I mean, you have a hard time with YouTube, Spooks. But I'm glad to see that you're back and doing videos again. I hope you've been well. Elman well, that is. But we're going to move on to... Have you ever been so paranoid that you started seeing things that aren't there and hearing noises you couldn't explain? I have gotten myself sometimes in a particular point where I was paranoid, and the more I thought about it, the more paranoid I got, which is how it typically works. But I was out with a couple of friends, and we were hanging out in this old church. It used to be a church, but it kind of shut down. But we were just kind of hanging out with it, and we were trying to take an actual axe, you know, an axe, to a can of Axe to see if it would like explode or, you know, shoot off. We just wanted to see what it was going to do because we were stupid. And you know, me being a big horror movie fan, I was like, okay, this is the setting of a perfectly good horror story right here. And the more I thought about it, the more I started hearing these noises, footsteps. And I was like, guys, I think we need to get out of here. And the more I continued, the more I got paranoid, and so on and so forth. Everything just started building and building and building. But I don't think I've ever gotten to a point where I started seeing things. No, there was only one time I ever saw a ghost that I remember. I probably saw more, but there was only one time I ever saw a ghost. And I was coming home late at night, and I was driving. After I dropped my ex-girlfriend off, I was heading back home. It was about 10 o'clock, and I got to this certain place where this guy actually got killed by a drunk driver. And they even have like a cross and stuff on the side where the guy died. Anyway, I was driving, everything's fine, it was like a foggy night, and then I started seeing this guy walking across the road. So I started slowing down. It wasn't like right up front, it was kind of far off. but I saw somebody just crossing the road. So I started slowing down because I didn't want to hit the guy. And I could just see him plain as day just walking by. And he got to the other side where it's nothing but a mountain. There's like no house or, nothing, no cave or something that he could just kind of slither in. So I started going up a little bit more, and it's one of those things was like, I wonder who that is. You just kind of typically look. Well, I glance over, I didn't see a thing. He completely vanished. Now, I thought it was just my imagination, okay? So when I got home, I didn't mention nothing about it. I just left it alone. Well, about 2 or 3 days later, my grandpa decided to come up at our house. This was around 10 o'clock at night, which is very rare for him. But he decided to come up to the house at 10 o'clock to drop off something. I can't quite remember. He was like giving my dad something. He told my dad, he said, I saw the weirdest thing just coming up to your house. And my dad was like, what? And he said, you won't believe me, but as I was heading to your house, I was passing by the Moose Lounge, which is where I was going past, and when I saw the guy crossing the road. And if you don't know what a Moose Lounge is, if you don't have anywhere you guys live, it's like this little alcohol joint that sells like nothing but alcohol, and you can hang out and play like pool and stuff like that. But I've only been in there once, and that was because we were allowed in there as kids to hunt for Easter eggs. I know, hunt for Easter eggs in an alcohol place. That sounds smart. But I also love playing pool, so there you go. Which that place is closed down now. I think they're reopening it up, something new now. But anyway, my grandpa he said, I was passing by there, and I saw this guy crossing the road. And he said, I saw this guy clear as day. Saw him wearing a jacket, saw him wearing jeans. And he just said he was taking his sweet time crossing the road. So I slowed down to not hit him. And he said the minute he got to the other side of the road, poof, he vanished. And that got me like all goosebumpish because I literally seen the same thing and I never once told them. So I explained that. And then my grandma, I don't know if this is true or not. Probably not, because my grandma's kind of, woo! Not the one that passed away, dear God, no. The other one that I have, she's kind of like, woo! That's out there. Trust me. But anyway, she was telling us yesterday about a long time ago when she was younger. Her and her mom and her sister was going somewhere, and their car kind of broke down. Well, they had this guy come and fix the car, and they started driving, and as soon as they got forward, all of a sudden this girl appeared, covered in mud. Looked like Carrie, like a prom dress or some kind of dress, she said, and she was covered in mud and had her hands like this. So they like stopped, and they were like scared to death, but then all of a sudden the girl just kind of vanishes. Like right in front of them. Like I said, I don't know whether or not to believe it, or whether or not my grandma could have been at that time paranoid about something similar and just imagined it. So, have you guys had any weird experiences like that? Let me see what we got. Doing good. Just 130 days until October. Yeah, I know. It's coming very quickly, sadly. These years are going by. I mean, not sadly, because I love October. I wish October was like 50 days a month. But you know what I mean by these months flying by. Oh, yeah, I sent you another friend request. Yeah, I never got anything. I'll have to look. No, never. Which my PlayStation's kind of been acting up here lately. It's bullshit. I have, but not like to the extreme. Booze! Like a bar. Plenty when I was with Bi-State Paranormal Ghost Hunting Team. Only when Levi is around. I don't know what I saw, but this one time after I had done a double shift in the winter and I had been really tired, so I went to sleep, but I couldn't get to sleep for a while, and I saw this figure. Damn. Now, see, you don't know if it's because of sleep, depravity, which is totally the wrong word, but, you know, bug it. Oh, my filters are wanting to act up and it's buffering. That's funny. But the reason why I bring this... Why did it change to the filter? There's a ghost in my room. Slappy. Oh, y'all just saw my ass right now. Did you like that? Slappy, are you possessing my damn camera now? God. Shit, back there. Anyway, the reason why I bring all this up is because our next movie that we're going to be talking about is called The Last Shift. The Last Shift is on Netflix as well. I did a movie spree yesterday, you could tell. And yeah, it looks kind of satanic by the image on Netflix and by this image. But yeah, I watched this movie right here called The Last Shift. And surprisingly, it was a good/bad movie. The way I saw it, I didn't quite like how it ended. But the way my brother saw it, that he really loved the movie. So everyone has their own opinion. But I want to do a review on this movie. Anyway, what it's about is about this rookie cop. She just got hired into the cop place because her dad used to be one of the best cops there was. Well, literally, her very first job... Why is my camera getting so freaking dark? Like, Jesus Christ. Her first day on the job, she has to work the very last shift of this prison place because they're actually rebuilding the jail, making it a whole bigger, whole better place. And what she has to do, there's these hazmat people that are supposed to come anytime between 10 at night and 4 a.m. And they're going to pick up evidence stuff like blood samples, bloody knives, you know, just crime stuff that was left in their evidence locker. So they're coming to pick all that up, and they just need her to basically just stay there, make sure everything's peachy keen, and make sure that they arrive and pick up the stuff safely. So she gets to work the very last shift of that jail place. Well, as she's there, everything starts off kind of simple. You know, she hears a random noise here and there, just kind of doing little stuff here and there to kind of, you know, waste time. Then, all of a sudden, this guy somehow broke into the jail. And when she saw him, he was like pissing himself in the middle of the floor. Well, she literally kicks him out the door, gets him out of the police station. Then she receives this phone call from a girl, and she's saying, "Help me, they're coming to kill me." And she's like, "Okay, calm down, where are you? What's your location?" And she's like, "I don't know, they took me to a barn." And like, she was talking to the girl, and the girl's like, "I have to go." And then she hangs up on her. Well, she calls the other police station to let them know what just happened. And they were like, "That's impossible. All the calls should be coming to them. And she shouldn't be able to receive any phone calls like that." Well, she said she did, and blah, 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 blah. So they're like, "Did you get her last name and her name?" And she's like, "No." Which is big rookie mistake. They're like, if she happens to call back, get her name and her location. Well, she's sitting there waiting, and then more stuff continues to happen. Like the guy ends up breaking back into the prison again, which she ends up arresting him and putting him in one of the jail cells. And then all of a sudden, this really creepy paranormal stuff starts happening. And it's all because she's getting paranoid. Like, she starts getting paranoid, thinks that, she hears things continuously. She starts getting scared and starts seeing things. And all through the movie, just a lot of paranormal stuff starts happening, but it slowly unravels the actual story of the whole thing. Now, what I truly loved about the movie was the way that the director recorded everything. I thought that he did an excellent job with makeup, and what I mean by makeup as what these people look like. Because this, my favorite part of the entire movie, and this does not spoil anything, so I'm very glad it don't, so I can tell you it. But my favorite part of the movie is she sees this video start playing on the TV, and it's like a questioning thing, like a cop is questioning these insane killer people. Well, the girl, she starts talking about, have you ever seen, or have you ever hit someone in the face with a baseball bat? And she's like, it changes the way they look. They could be so beautiful, and then the next minute, bam! And then it just, their eyes come out, their skulls are smashed in. They just look like a complete different animal, the way she calls it. But she has this really crazy laugh, and I mean, it was intense. And then she, like, as she laughs, she bashes her own head on the table, breaking her own nose, and blood's like coming like everywhere and stuff. It was just an insane part. You'll have to watch to actually see the full thing, because I don't want to give away too much. But I think the gore makeup that they did for the people looked brilliant. It was like something out of Hellraiser. So if you like Hellraiser, you're gonna love that movie. But me personally, I felt that it didn't quite end right. And Isaac, and this ain't no big spoiler or anything like that, but all I'm going to say is if you loved the movie Oculus, then you are going to love The Last Shift. That's all I'm going to say, okay? So, it is on Netflix right now. Make sure you check it out. It is worth watching. I did love the story. I did love the actors. They did an excellent job. Everything about it was really, really good. I just prefer a different ending than the one we got. But please, if you watch any of these movies, comment below and let me know what you think of them. Or you can simply message me on Google Hangouts. My Google Hangout is Z3KO Trinity. So, but anyway, if you loved Oculus, then you will love that movie. That's all I'm going to say. It's called Last Shift. That's what it looks like. And you can see this is one of the people in the movie. What I mean by the makeup. You see how this person's face is all carved up like a pumpkin? Well, they just did an excellent job with the actual monster people in the film. So, make sure you check it out. This video ain't going to be too long. I only got a few last things to say. For the next video, I would love it if you guys would comment below and give me topic ideas for what my next horror vlog could be. Like this one was all about bullies and how bullies can scare us and stuff like that. And being a bully can sometimes scare even yourself. Like when you finally realize, like, what did I just do to this person? You know, that's a scary thing in itself. But there's several movies out there with bullying, especially like mostly paranormal movies. Like friend request, which, of course, if you've seen friend request, you'll know it's not all about bullying, but it's about people bullying this girl to where she commits suicide. Well, there's also another story about her, you know, doing it because of, satanic rituals, but, it's all bullying. That's all it is. Okay. But if you guys would please comment below and let me know a horror movie topic that I can do, or just any kind of theme for the next episode, I would greatly appreciate it, and I will give you a huge shout out at the beginning of the video. And also, I would need you guys to recommend some really good, really messed up horror movies. So if you've watched any really good or really messed up horror movies, you can comment below and see if I've seen them. And I might add those to future reviews, and also give you a shout out, like this person wanted me to watch this movie and do a review on it. That way I can interact with you guys a little bit more, and that way you guys can see whether or not I choose your pick. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the episode. Don't be a bully, because bullies are bad. Bullies are bad, okay? And you don't need to be a bully, okay? Because bullying is bad. And yeah, I just want to say 24 episodes of the horror vlog. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me through the horror vlogs. We started this whole journey because of our love of scary movies. We love October. We just love scary stories. It's a part of our lives. Some more than others, because, like I said, some people get a little too wound up in movies. Me personally, I've watched Stephen King's It a bajillion times. And I just love the characters and love all that. So I'm getting caught up in that movie as well. But we just love our scary stories. We love that thrill, that adrenaline, stuff like that. And I really enjoy talking about these subjects to you guys, and doing reviews on videos and recommending videos for you guys to watch. And I want you guys to recommend some to me too. Because this horror vlog is about all of us. It's not just, some fat guy on his phone telling y'all what y'all should do. No, it's a big community thing, and I want you guys to feel free to, take charge. This channel's video, the horror vlogs, is about all of us. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for sticking with me for 24 episodes. Some of them good, some of them not so good. But regardless, I just want you guys to know that I appreciate each and one of you sincerely from the bottom of my heart. And if you're new to the channel and you're checking out this horror vlog for the very first time, and you haven't gotten bored and turned it off already, and you're already at this point, I want to say thank you so much for joining. I recently gained 4 subscribers, which is awesome for this channel. I figured this channel was going to die eventually, because I've been staying on 430 subscribers forever now. And then it slowly went up to 32, but now I'm at 36 at the moment. But anyway, I'm going to end the video here. I just want to say thank you guys so very much for all that you do. Once I get the money saved up, I'm going to be trying to buy more props and stuff for the horror vlogs, so I can do more openings for you guys, and cool stuff like that. Anyway, I'm Z3KO Trinity. This has been another horror vlog episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I guess see you on the next video.